If you can go back in time to quote unquote change the world and make it the way you want it to be, would you do it? Well, here's a reason why you probably don't want to do that. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brandon Wheeler. I have a straw in my mouth because I'm a former veteran. I had like heat stroke, something happened, so I can't talk right. I bite down on something, all right? That's why this well. So moving on. So, all right, here we go. I am also an indie author. I have a little bit of a fantasy series going on, 3 books so far, and I'm working on other things. But in the meantime, I make some videos and everything on games and stuff, but I also do book reviews and whatever reviews of stuff I watch. So here we go. Now, I am still in the process of reading Robinson Crusoe. I know I made mention I was reading Robinson Crusoe in one of my last review videos. That's still in process. But interestingly enough, because of my seemingly the screw tape video, my review on the screw tape letters, I got contacted in my book email, and I'm like, what is this? And a gentleman, Mr. Jones, contacted me about, hey, why don't you read my book and everything? It's somewhat like screw tape letters or anything like that. I'm like, okay, well, let me check it out. After doing a little research, I'm like, okay, I'll read it. So I introduce to you Unforeseeable, A Bargain in Time, The Cost of a Better Tomorrow by Jeff T. Jones. So, he described it as kind of like, there's one thing I don't really know, but it's like a screw tape letters and meet like a Christmas Carol. I would say, I can see this slight Christmas Carol comparison. I would say more of a Wonderful Life, but it's not so wonderful, and Piralandra, but it goes horribly wrong. What do I mean by that? I can't tell you that because I'm going to have a spoiler barrier in between the video where I actually talk the spoilers and everything that happens in the book for those who want to have that. So that's going to be there and everything like that. I already texted him and asked like, hey, would you want a spoiler barrier? He said, that's fine. That's what's going to happen in this video. So let me read the back to you so you understand exactly what this book is. When Stephen meets a mysterious stranger in a bar, he is offered an extraordinary opportunity, the chance to alter history itself. With a vision of a better future, he embarks on a journey through time, determined to set things right. Each decision he makes feels like a victory, a step towards shaping the world as it should be. But in a game where power and consequence are intertwined, Stephen finds himself, it might be Stefan, but Stephen finds himself asking if he is the architect of a brighter tomorrow, or he may soon discover that rewriting the past is far more complex than he ever imagined. Because a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, time, we can go through time and change time and make things better, prevent things from happening. Well, hypothetically for you time bros who think time travel is possible and everything like that, I ask you, what makes you think people haven't already gone through, and changed time and this is the result of that? People says like, oh, we could stop the Holocaust. Well, you say that it hasn't happened because someone messed with the timeline and everything like that and everything else. Like people all the time stuff and everything. Case in point, even though time is a fun thing to kind of mess with and go back in time and everything, I'm actually not a time person. I don't believe it is possible actually or anything. I think what the Lord has written is full and everything. Now I did mention the Lord right there, and the main draw in some ways is that it is not a Christian, I wouldn't say Christianish book exactly, but you can say it's right there. That's why he described it as like screw tape letters and everything. I think from reading this and everything, I think the gentleman is Catholic, which fine, that's everything. I'm not Catholic, but going from this view and everything, still from point of view, it doesn't have into Catholicism or anything like that. It's just basic what's going on here. So, but either way, regardless of that, because I know some people are sensitive about things, but that's fine. The book itself, it was reading it and everything. I will do slight spoiler thing because it's just dealing with the back. Stephen he's at a bar, he's drinking and stuff, and he's listening, and this guy with a British accent starts talking to him. His name's Dolan, or it might be Doolin or something like that, but I'll just go with Dolan. So Stephen, it takes place in modern day, and it is a little bit of political book. It gets into some political things and stuff, all right? He is a political left-wing lib person, as you can imagine. I mean, he is very left. And so it is a political book. I will tell you that. And he's like, oh, if we could stop these Republicans and everything from doing all these things, that would be great. For some reason, he's venting about this at a bar. I imagine there's other people at the bar just being like, dude, shut up. But he's venting and stuff. And this is what attracts Dolan, or Doolin, whatever it is. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we there might be a way." And this is where it reminds me of Paralandra because isn't it like us intellectuals are the ones who can really shape the future and everything? It's like, why does that sound like exactly like things from the Hideous Strength and all that? I can't believe I'm referencing that book, but the intellectuals of the Hideous Strength thinking we can determine the future and everything, and it's like, mm-hmm. This is not going to go badly, is it? But yeah, he does go to the past. He does everything that Dolan shows him that he wants to do, and he achieves it. But when he gets back, yeah, his world's definitely different. Of course, there's no because consequence and everything. And this is where it gets to the spoiler parts, and I'm gonna get to that in the spoiler part of the review. But as far as the book, it's very well written and everything like that. Again, if you are of certain political persuasion, specifically on the left side, I would say you would not necessarily like you say Stephen's characterization or everything like that. But I hate to say this, just looking online, there are people just like Stephen, unfortunately, and I've even just walking by, I can hear people talking like him and everything. It's just like so. It is based on reality. I hate to say that. Is it maybe too much? Well, not necessarily. It's just what happens. But so it is kind of like you could say like political view, right, going after left and everything like that. I'm just saying that just for the people watching, if you want to check it out or not. So if you're conservative, like me and stuff, you will enjoy the book. If you're left, it might be more of a wake up call in that way type of view for you, which I would hope so in a way. But just in that aspect, it is kind of the right wing view, political stuff and everything. I don't want to necessarily be political and everything on this channel. Just saying, I'll read what's there, but just given aspect of what this book is and everything like that, it's dealing with it for a purpose. Because the guy's thinking, Stephen is thinking like, oh, I could do all these things for political stuff and all this stuff and everything, but what you don't realize, even if you switch it around and do it like from a right viewer or something, there's still going to be consequences of messing with timelines and everything that you have no idea what you're doing, and that's what causes it and stuff. So it's kind of like a warning book and everything like that. As far as writing, yeah, it does makes me angry at certain points because what he does is everything's like, dude, you are such an idiot, and it made me angry at different stuff like that. And it's well written in that. If you want to know, because it's indie authors or typos, yes, there's a couple typos, but more towards the end that I think I caught, depending. But other than that, there's not really anything that bad. Okay, because I want to dispel the thing like, oh, all indie author stuff is going to be terrible. It's like, no, it's not terrible at all. It's actually very well written. It's very well illustrated, and it gives you a lot of thinking and stuff like that. So it's a very good book with everything like that. So I'm going to put a review on Goodreads and Amazon as well to do everything like that. This is the video review. Now I'm about to get into the spoiler review. If you don't want to get into the spoilers, click off now. That way you don't get spoiled, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with it that I can't really speak on because spoilers. And I asked him if he wanted me just do straight up spoiler or have a spoiler, block barrier thing, and he said spoiler block, and I'm like, okay. So here's your chance. If you want to go check out the book, it's available on Amazon and everything. It's Unforeseeable by Jeff T. Jones. Again, kind of a political thriller in some ways, gets you thinking and some stuff like that. It is from you could say, biblical view on certain things. Maybe it's more from the Catholic side for those interested, but it doesn't really get heavy into like only Catholic side thing or Baptist, or it's not like that at all. Okay, just saying that at all. I will say there's just a priest who's there but unfortunately he doesn't get to have the effect that he needed to do, which is sad. So, all right, going forward, I'll see you after this spoiler break. There's a lot to talk about here. So Stephen goes back with Dolan to the past, and he does 3 different things. This little girl wants to be like, oh, I wanted to play baseball and everything like that. Okay, so, but my family doesn't want to let me do it because I'm not a boy or anything like that. So he takes the little girl to a place that will make her dream come true of becoming a little boy. Another stop. This little girl's outside a pregnancy center. Well, not a little girl, but a woman's outside a pregnancy center with and he sees that she's hesitant about going in. He's like, "You need to help ensure your future when the time is right." And that's when the priest comes in and he's trying to talk to her like why to save the baby and everything, but Stephen gets in the way and says, "Don't talk to me about your sky god" and all that, and pushes him away and takes the woman inside to have the abortion. And another stop. He stops a guy from giving a thing about supporting the Second Amendment and everything like that. So because of that, it he stops a guy, he rips up his stuff and everything. So the guy can't go to that meeting to really stop gun control things from being taken in place and everything like that. And he thinks, oh, it's so good and everything like that. He gets to modern day, can't find his family anywhere, and you're thinking, well, I could see this coming from a mile away because all these things you thought like, oh, I'm making a difference in the world. Yeah, you made a difference in the world. Your world. See, the Paralandra comment that I was making is, yeah, it's Paralandra, but it's your Paralandra. It's your world. You see, the gun control person that he turns out, hey, he didn't help him or anything like that because he stopped that guy from giving the speech at the town thing and was a proponent of the Second Amendment because he stopped that. A guy went in, shut up a theater where his brother was at. His brother died because the guy shut up the theater. He's like, well, why would he shoot up the theater when there's laws of gun control in the way? He's like, criminals don't, Dolan says like, the criminals don't follow laws. The guy who would have been there to stop that shooting initially in the actual timeline was a veteran, and he would have stopped the thing with his gun and everything like that. But because those gun control laws were put in thing, he didn't feel his family was safe, so he moved away. So he wasn't there to stop it. What do you mean? How could you do this and everything? And Dolan's just laughing. I was like, you meat sacks really are stupid in such ways. We consider you nothing but cattle. Like, what do you mean by that? Dolan is a demon possessing a body. He really wanted me to disambiguate that if it was otherwise clear, which you can kind of get that later when he makes that comment. It's like, I gotta return this meat bag because he needs to sleep. Dolan, aka Lucifigius, is a demon serving the devil and everything like that. Kind of like the Unman in Paralandra and everything. But I don't know if it's pronounced Lucifigius or Lucifigous. When I saw that name, I'm like, ooh, interesting name. What does that mean? I looked it up. It means like shunning the light. Which is like, ooh, that is an interesting name. Shunning the light. And it's like, well, that's interesting. So that's his actual name, and he's really proud of that name stature that he has and everything like that. But he's just basically telling Stevens, like, yeah, your idea of like how things work, completely stupid and everything. It's easy to manipulate you. Well, what happened to these other things? The lady he took to, the be a boy and everything like that, she is a speaker against, child being transition stuff. She claims she was kidnapped and everything, and because she never got to do this and that and be a woman, she was completely taken advantage of, and she has no clue what this guy Steven's talking about and everything, because here's the thing. She was actually the birth mother of his daughter, because she donated her, later on and everything, she would donate her baby or something like that. I don't know, but either way, she would be the mother of his adoptive daughter. But because of all that stuff that happened to her as a kid, that would never happen. So his little girl that he was so happy to have, and even in the beginning, he was saying like, I should probably answer this recital. My daughter has this poetry recital thing again. Donna's like, oh, don't have to worry about that. And he's like, you're right, there's going to be other recitals. Nope. Unfortunately, there will never be a recital again. Getting into that, what I mean by that. And then, the lady who had an abortion, that was his mother-in-law. Because his mother-in-law aborted the baby that would have been his wife. And also the doctor says, oh yeah, this is a side procedure. Sometimes these things happen where she will never be able to have kids again. So any other sisters or anything she had will never happen again either. So his wife would never be born either. So basically, Stephen loses his wife, his adoptive daughter, screwed up someone else's life with that, lost his brother and everyone else who got shot in that theater shooting. He just basically screwed up the world. And, of course, Lucifigus, I don't know how to say it, Dolan, tells him, like, oh, you should just end it. That's the only thing you have left. And he's about to end his life, and then the priest shows up. I think it's the same priest as the one in the past. I wouldn't doubt that it's the same guy, personally. and he tries to prevent him from shooting himself, which he succeeds. But he tells him his tale, and he's just what happened because and everything is like, can God help me change the past and everything like that? I can go back and change everything. And he says, free will. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's possible because of free will and what you've done. And it was kind of shocking to me to read this ending that he doesn't get the chance to have this repentance thing and to go back and like fix everything. Because I was expecting, like, are we going to fix everything? Can we go back and change it all and redeem it all? That does not happen in this. And I was like, wait, really? It really cements what he did. Is like, you can't take it back or anything. You can speak out against it now, but now you can't take it back or anything. And it's just kind of a shocking ending of like, well, dang. Because I was like, surely we can go back in time and stop it, but sometimes the consequences of your actions, which is what Dolan told him in the beginning, of like, you have to reap the repercussions of what you do if you change the past. And now you don't want to have it? Ooh, what's wrong with you? Are you that narcissistic? You people meat sacks really are, Dolan says. And it's like, it really, yeah, it is a hard hitting ending because of that. Because the priest is like, I don't think you can do that because of free will and everything. You chose to do these things freely. And now there's nothing that can be done necessarily. I don't, it's kind of a hard ending to accept and all that, but when choices happen in life, it's tough. And the way the priest talks, he wanted me to highlight that it was kind of more like talking to the reader, like, what choices do you want to make? Because your choices, you can't actually go back in time and change your choices and everything. What choices you make matter and going forward in life. And I want to highlight that real fast. In the military and the army, what we had was, because I was part of a play, because I'm going to be doing an army series about my time in the military and everything. I was part of a play, actually, of don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you get what I'm going after, suicide and everything. Because things can be handled and everything like that, but don't do permanent, solution to stuff. Reach out, get help and everything like that, but yeah. So as far as the book and everything else, a very kind of sad, hard-hitting ending in a way, and but it's just kind of like, wow, yeah. So, I mean, what does it say in Amos? I think it's Amos or Malachi, where it says like, "Choose you this day," or actually, just in different places in the Old Testament, it says, "Choose you this day whom you will serve," but choose you and everything like that. Because the whole thing with Stephen's like, oh, I don't believe in devils and everything. Then he's like, wait, demons aren't real. They assured me Sky Daddy and everything wasn't real. And he's like, and you believe that, Stevie? You believe that, Stevie? Don't call me Stevie. Oh, why? Because of the camp counselor? It gets into a lot of stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely an adult book. A very tough-hitting adult book. He said that in the email that the people who've read it describe it as being like a short film and everything like that. And I could definitely see that. It could definitely be a short film that I can see and everything like that. I don't know if the ending should end right where the priest is saying that or not. I would hope that maybe there could be some sort of redemptive end, something. I don't know, something. That's me though, to have some sort of redemptive end and not just leave it as a hard hitting like, here's reality, what you did sucked. And it's like, I mean, that is true, but there's also redemption. But sometimes you can't change everything. Like David couldn't change what he did with Bathsheba and everything, and the child died. So, I don't know. That's just the writing styles, I guess, I suppose. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed the spoiler review. Hope you enjoyed the full review and everything like that. Again, go check it out. It's available on Amazon and everything like that. Unforeseeable. Are you willing to live with the actions of your consequences of changing the past? It's not a bargain to make. Don't go to the past. Don't. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye.